Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel Charles Morse. Donald J. Trump is about to get what he actually deserves for causing such an insurrection on January 6, 2021. And he didn't march down to the Capitol with his mob and his other supporters. What he actually has done is he actually told his mob and his supporters to go down and march down to the Capitol on January 6th. Like January 5th, he wanted his mob to go down and march down the Capitol that next day, which was January 6th. Now, Donald J. Trump incited his mob that day before January 6th, which is January 5th. And Donald Trump had told his supporters and his mob that he would march down with them, which instead he stood back over there in the Oval Office in the White House, and he was watching it. He was watching his mob attack the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, and he just stood there and he just watching. He was watching it, so he basically lied to his supporters, saying that he was going to march down with them. So, it was a complete lie. He didn't really march down with his mob at all. He was watching his mob attack the Capitol up Capitol Hill, and he just sat back there in the Oval Office watching his whole mob try to at least overturn the election as he wanted it done. But in the end, what eventually happened is that excuse me, pardon me. Eventually, what a lot of that Trump mob got in trouble for was seditious conspiracy, which was the harshest charge that you can serve up to at least a plus 20 years in jail if you were ever charged with seditious conspiracy. So here's what I want to do. Now, even though Trump wants to try to at least become president again of the United States. Now, this is absolutely shocking. And there's a Constitution amendment that it has come off of constitution.congress.gov, and it's a government site. So I'm actually going to just read this right here, because now I wrote this down word for word because this says a lot, and it proves that Donald J. Trump cannot serve as president of the United States again. He served 2016 to 2020, and he claimed his victory way too early when there was the presidential debate going, or the presidential race going on. He claimed his victory too early against President Joe, against his rival candidate Joe Biden, and basically, he did not like the results that Joe Biden was actually beat him after he tried claiming that Trump tried to claim his victory too early. And when it came out that Joe Biden was actually going to be sworn in as president because he won that road to 270, Donald J. Trump didn't like the results. So what did he do? He incited the mob on January 5th of 2021 to go and march up Capitol Hill and overturn the election result on January 6th, 2021. Here's what it says. And this is exactly why Trump cannot run as president of the United States ever again. This is 14th Amendment, equal protection and other rights. And basically, this has a lot to say. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States, or as an executive or justice officer or of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may have vote of 2/3 of each house remove such disability. So, there you have it. This is exactly why President Donald J. Trump cannot be President of the United States ever again. Now let's keep this real. Just because he's been not found guilty, it doesn't mean he's basically off the hook. Amendment 14, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, Section 3, clearly says that any president or anybody who serves alongside the law, or is in, like, let's say, for example, the House, the Senate, or, serves any kind of law in the, or served alongside the law, whether it's Congress, the military, or if it's being President of the United States, or Vice President, whoever you are. If you are any of them, and you cause an insurrection and rebellion, guess what? Under Amendment 14th of the Constitution, Section 3, you cannot become a member of the United States military. You cannot become a president of the United States again, or vice president. You cannot be members of the House of Congress. You cannot be a judge. And basically, you can't be serving with law enforcement, or serving on serving on any side of the law. Basically, if you cause rebellion or insurrection, that's pretty much the end of it, you know. That's pretty much the end of it. So, yeah. The violence that Trump is planning to bring in 2025, if he became president, which he clearly can't. If Donald J. Trump was becoming president from 2024 to 2028, and in 2025 he planned to go full dictator, clearly the United States pretty much wouldn't allow that to happen. And nobody would pretty much allow any kind of president to become like such a complete dictator. So, yeah. Really, this isn't something to actually, it's not really, I know everybody would probably, was completely scared of what Donald Trump would actually do to the country, but it looks exactly like he's going to get what he, really deserves. Justice, locked up, and this man truly deserves prison or jail. And this man clearly, not because he's just a Republican, but he's a narcissist, and he caused rebellion and insurrection on the United States democracy. And not only that, but people's voting rights. And that's exactly what happened here on January 6th. This is what Donald Trump has done, even though he didn't march up to the Capitol with all of his other Trump mob and Trump supporters. He didn't even march up with the Oath Keepers and the members of the Proud Boys. You do that, you incite a mob to go and march up Capitol Hill and cause insurrection and rebellion. You cannot serve another term. Joe Biden said this himself. You accept the election results, you move on. Having just accepted the election results back in 2020, he would have had another shot of being president of the United States again. But because of the January 6th insurrection, clearly he cannot serve another term. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution, Section 3, it clearly means you cannot run another term in office. So Trump's pretty much done for. So yeah, I know the last few videos I've probably been scared about what the future would look like under Donald J. Trump being president of the United States, but now that this is around, now that we all know that Trump cannot be president of the United States again, which I know most Republican voters out there aren't really liking this. I'm sure the Republican Party doesn't really like this at all either, but, you know, it's the truth, and there is supposed to be law, order, and balance in this state, or this country, I mean, and Trump broke one of the amendments. He broke one of the amendments of the constitutional laws, and he broke Amendment 14. He broke Amendment 14, Section 3. This is where Donald J. Trump can never be president of the United States again. Even if he were to make it out of prison and try to claim to be president of the United States again, Section 14, or Amendment 14, Section 3, clearly says that he cannot, or any president can run again in office in the United States again. If you had been involved in causing an insurrection or rebellion against United States democracy, you clearly are unfit and never allowed to run as president of the United States ever again. This is Charles Morris. Have a good day. And, it's good to hear that Trump is not going to be able to run again. Have a good day. I will see you on my next video.